Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Hello, hello, hello. I have a question for you. Have you ever felt completely lost? You know, seeking purposeful direction that could and should propel your mission within your divine journey to that next level, but still it hasn't happened. Well, my name is Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm the founder of P3, the Journey Series. People come to me because they're wounded. Many are scared, and even there are those who are bruised simply because they feel that they are increasingly, for whatever reason, losing their ability to dream. Now, this P3 program is not for a person who's just looking to start a business, no, but rather for those of you out there who have been on your journey and you've been navigating within your divine purpose, but you still desire to elevate to that level that you have not reached yet. If this is appealing, if this describes you, then I want to have a chat with you. I want to hear your story. So use the link below to get registered for your free seat at P3, the Journey Series. And let's get started, one story at a time. I'll see you inside. Click the link.
Good morning. I did it. 10 good morning. Good morning to you. Wait a minute. Let's just make it a round full 11. But wait, 12 is one of my angel numbers. Good morning. Good morning. And that is it. I'm so excited to be here, you guys. Happy Wednesday to you. It's hump day, middle of the week. And we found our way together again. What a blessing. What a blessing. You know, it's not that we just get to come in here and kick it, which is great. What we're literally doing, is enacting, releasing the power that comes with the universal promise You know, the one that guarantees us that when two or more of us, when we come together and we're like, you know what? Let's talk about this. Let's do this. Let's be that. Let's change something together. It's that spirit of togetherness that eases suffering in the world. It's called mindset. It's called heart set. And you do it on purpose. And that's why we have that bell. That is the bell of purpose, y'all. It's a real thing, not just a gimmick or a prop. It's more of an opportunity, you know, a reminder for all of us that just like that bell, the truth, well, it has a ring to it. Tune your spirit like a tuning fork to that sound, that frequency, which is your truth. Okay? I'm telling you, it will change your life because the truth is the only thing in this universe, y'all, that doesn't change, and it will never change on us. Can I get an amen? I'll kick them off. There's one. There's one to get the ball started. I want to say good morning to all of you beautiful people. You're looking absolutely fabulous. And here we are, ready to start our day. So today's, let me see, do I have any announcements? Let me look in there. Yeah, well, where am I headed? Oh, tomorrow's the first day of August. So yeah, not too much. August, I'll be in Waukesha, Wisconsin for a community event there brought in by the 9/11 operators that work there. That's a very stressful job. So I'll be there. And then it looks like the week after that, I'll be in Albany, New York for a conference there. And then the week after that, you can see me. Oh, Becoming the Best You in Kansas City. This will be my third year there with Brenda Ringwood, Terrence Leftridge, and the entire crew. That's one of my favorite events of the year, I just got to say. So that's what's going on in my neck of the woods. What's going on in yours? I'll tell you what's going on in all of ours here in just a moment. My guest will be walking down the hall. Today's guest is, well, it's a long haul, too, because she's in the UK. So she must started walking, I don't know, a couple days ago. But she's here. She'll be in here in just a second. Her name is, Agata, but she goes by Aga. Like, I was like, what if her name was Lady Aga? I bet I'm the first one for that. I'm going to call her that, too. Oke. I can know I'm saying. I'm going to let her say her last name. It's only 3 letters, but it's very intimidating. Because you're like, huh, looks like a letter should be in front of that O. I can't figure it out. Public school, y'all, public school. So she'll be here in a second. Now, what does she do? You're going to love it. I'm serious. I was so surprised, pleasantly surprised. I was digging around all up in her cookies, you know, her social media, looking for a little bit of extra to go on for today's show. And boy, did I find it. This morning, I thought I was going to watch a couple seconds of an 8-minute video regarding that she posted on her page regarding what she did for her inner child. And before you know it, I was captivated the entire 8+ minutes of it. I couldn't take my eyes off of it. It was incredible. Absolutely incredible. I really believe she's headed for television. Seriously. I'm going to talk to her about that because I couldn't take my eyes off of her. Although she didn't send me a bio, that's okay, because I'd rather let her tell you than me. And so we're going to get her in here. We're going to talk to Agata Oke today about a couple things, but I'm going to officially name today's show Celebrating Transparency. Now we're going to get into some, through that clear water known as transparency, we're going to get into some murky water because we're going to talk about some of the warning signs of how you might, or someone you know or love, might be inside of a horrible place known as a narcissistic relationship. Okay, we're going to touch on that a little, but nothing heavy, nothing, you know, today. We're talking about the healing and what comes out of it. You got to have the poison if you want to make the antidote. There it is. You guys put your hearts on the screen. It's our way of saying welcome. And thank you for walking all the way from the UK, because here she comes. I hear her down the hall. She's on her way. Put some hearts on the screen for Lady Aga. Now what? You're going to tell me it's Aga.
Aga. Thank you. Hello.
Aga. So it could be Lady Aga.
Yeah, it could be. I like that.
I know. Not Lady Aga, not to be confused with Lady Gaga, but you know. Yeah. How are you?
I'm good. I'm very excited. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I'm very excited. Let me tell you, I know you heard the intro, and I meant that. I was over there today, this morning early, a couple hours ago, and I was just looking around and I saw that video you posted. And I'm just going to tell you something. First of all, girl, I usually eat it here on the show. Here's the empty bowl. I had to go get my cereal early because I was watching you eat that sandwich. Woo! I got so hungry. I was like, it was so good. The whole story, all of it. I didn't know. We're going to get into it because I'm telling you what, now I'm going to be looking for the color in my food. All kinds of things. When you were talking about the bullying and I am a big champion of inner healing, of inner child, because when mine happened, it changed my life and I wasn't even looking for it. So we're going to get into all that. But first, I do a thing where I'm going to leave for about 60 seconds and I'm going to let you just pour into the audience, create your own vibe, say hello and allow them to feel you. And then we'll come back in and we'll get started down this road known as this interview. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay, sounds good. Take it away. You got this. I'll be right back. If you start flopping around in the water, don't worry. The lifeguard will dive in and save you. Don't worry, but you got this. Here you go.
Hello, everyone. My name is Aga, and I'm here on this planet Earth to empower and support vulnerable women, just like I used to be once. And I want to help them to overcome and heal from narcissistic abuse, from any domestic violence situation, because this was my story. 5 years ago, I fled with my then 3-year-old daughter. We fled domestic violence to a completely different city to start our lives afresh. And I just quickly want to say, I know my little girl is watching me now, so just want to say, hello, baby, I love you, and thank you for coming into my life. And I just love you so much, and I'm proud of you.
What's her name?
Kaya.
Kaya, shout out to Kaya. Hi, how are you? Dr. Lauren loves you too. You know, thank you for that. So, boy, let everybody know where you're at in the world exactly. Where are you?
I'm on the South Coast in the United Kingdom.
The South Coast?
Yes.
That's like over here we say the West Coast. So, what's the South Coast like?
It's beautiful. It's lovely.
It is?
It is. It is.
So where did you escape from? How far did you go?
I went about 3 hours away. So I used to live outside London, and from London I escaped back to the south part of the country. I used to live here actually before. Okay. I met my ex-husband. I used to live here. Then I met him. I moved over there. And 4 years later, I fled with my daughter back here.
And your daughter is how old today? 8?
She's 8.
She's 8. Okay. So let's go to the word. Let's talk about the words you use. You said 2 of them, actually, escaped and fled. So you're not saying, I divorced and moved. You're not saying, I went on a vacation and fell in love and never went home. You're saying like dun, 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 Mission Impossible shit, where you had to squirrel clothes away, make it look like nothing was changing, talk like everything was normal, but still make plans to walk out the door, never to come. You had to decide what to take, what you could leave, what you had to leave, secretly say goodbyes to people. All of that and more. Tell us take us if you could, Aga, to the day where you finally said, I need a plan. It's not about what I want because nothing's changing, but I need a plan, and how that began the change you live today.
So it was actually when I came here to visit a friend of mine, and during that time when I was here, my daughter was left with a friend of mine. And then the following day, she was supposed to be picked up by her father to go and spend night with him like every single week. But this week was different because when I went to visit my friend, I received a phone call. The phone call was showing as phone call from my bank. And unfortunately, it was not a phone call from my bank. It was a phone call from friends of my ex-husband, trying to find out whether, where was I? If they ask me for some personal information, would I disclose it? And I have told them that, my bank account was hacked by my ex-husband. There was some money coming into my account that, I don't know where they were coming from, and my bank account is actually being closed now. So they said to me, is your husband one of those Nigerian bastard guys? I quote that because that's what was said to me from the bank operator, supposedly, on the phone call. And I said to him, are you allowed to say this word? You called me from the bank. So they said something I couldn't understand. They started giggling and then they hung up. So that moment I knew that, it's not going the right direction. So I was advised to contact the local police and tell them everything that was happening. So I did that on my return home. I did that. I got an appointment at the police station and I've told them everything that was happening. So I was then informed, because I feel like it's very important for me to mention, I have autism. So I am classified as more vulnerable adult. So the police officer then at the police station, he had to inform me that everything that's happening in my life, it's a domestic violence situation, because I didn't even know. And my ex-husband, he used to work as a support worker supporting vulnerable grown-ups. Autism was just the minimum condition that they were having. They had more severe mental health conditions, or developmental ones, and they required to live in a care homes, and be monitored 24/7. So he worked. He was a narcissistic abuser who worked with vulnerable grown-ups, and he was my ex-husband. So I was told then that I need to flee, I need to escape, because this situation is not healthy, and I cannot, and it's getting dangerous, right? Because if I receive this kind of phone call and they knew I disclosed the information,
Yeah. So let me ask you.
I was in danger.
Let me ask you, because a lot of people that I've talked to that, and I have a couple coaching clients who escaped, just like you, a narcissistic relationship. I mean, one who had to leave the country and still lives outside of the country because of that. And her two sons have grown up in another country because, and her whole family moved. Her parents moved, her brother moved. They all left Canada and went to Mexico because of this guy. So it's a real thing for a lot of people, lots and lots of people. And don't get it twisted. I've talked to a few men who have had to escape a narcissistic wife. I've talked to LGBTQ couples that have had to escape a narcissistic wife or husband. So it's everywhere. So, but what I want to get to is this. So usually especially with the husband-wife thing, the narcissistic husband is usually older. So was that the case? Was your husband older?
8 years.
8 years. See, and it's always a big gap. It's not like 16 months, 2 years. We could have been in the same high school. No, they could have been the teacher. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. And so, okay. Never, and the thing is, so many report that I didn't know better. I had no, my guest, Krista, yesterday, she's LGBTQ, and her wife was a narcissist. And this woman is a world champion power lifter. And she was the victim. This little tiny, right. So let's put a face on it. Okay. You have your daughter. She's 5. How old was she then? She was 3. She was 3. So you had a baby, and you're looking at a baby, and you're like, I got to leave. Did you leave because of her? Sometimes you left for both of you.
Yes.
What did you think would have happened if you'd have stayed? eventually? Where would it have led to?
I'm not sure what would happen. Thankfully, I've left, but things I knew I was in danger, so I can only speculate what could have happened. But I don't want to go
Was
there.
it physical?
It was a sexual abuse. It was not physical. Although many times I was just praying, just punch me, just hit me, just do something, because this psychological abuse, I just cannot handle it anymore. And like you've said, your guest yesterday, I have watched the show yesterday, and it was very, it was very powerful. I've also read about your story, and it's also very powerful. And
Thank you.
I just feel grateful for you that from your story, right, you turned your pain into your superpower, and now you're here helping others and inspiring others. And it just takes a lot of courage and a lot of responsibility to do that inner work, and to show up in the world right now as you do, and be able to help and support others, because there is no many people like this. And hopefully this world will come to a place where we can all just hold hands together and support each other.
Ooh,
But
you can say that again. I received that. I really do. I want to say this too. So there's going to be a few downloads today during this show for you. I already know, because they started coming the minute I really paid attention to you. I mean, when we were together on the pre-call, I was paying attention, but I went in to really look all around, and man, I was just laser focused. The way you tell a story, let's go there. I want to share the screen, and we're going to actually, you guys, this is over on Aga's Facebook page, and I found it just this morning. And I'm telling you, I couldn't stop listening. It was just incredible. And I'm going to, let's see, is this it here? Okay. So, yeah, okay. So we're going to go in here. Hold on. Let me get in here and get rid of this. And then I'm going to scroll down. Oh, that was great too. The poem was amazing. Now, okay, wait.
Hi,
Okay.
how are you?
Okay. Wait. I want to make sure everything, okay, there it is. It's on the screen. So tell us about this day, because we're going to go through it, listen to some, stop, talk about it, listen to some, stop, talk about it. So tell us about how you got to this day. What made you do what's on this screen? And if you guys can't read it, it says, I did something important for my inner child today. For little, say your name.
Agatka.
I've got, inside me, who wants her story. Wait a minute. I got to hit the see more to be heard. What is the story that your inner child wants you to tell? And then we're going to talk about the rest of that here in a minute, the program that Aga has. But let's take a listen. Well, no, tell us. How did you get to this?
I just did it. I just felt in my whole being that I have to do it. I have to record this for my inner child, because as a little Agatka, like I said, the little girl in me, she was always bullied at school, and I was always made embarrassed about eating in public. So I was always hiding during the school lesson. I was hiding, eating my breakfast quickly, so nobody could see me, nobody could comment on what I eat, because like I said, I've always been bullied. So eating in front of a camera publicly, and talking about this, I just felt like I really needed to do that. And I work with my inner child, I honor her a lot, and
Yes.
this is massive part of my healing journey, honoring the inner child in me, because her voice needs to be heard, and she wants to be seen. And when I was little, I had a program every single evening. I had a show in my family home, and I was like presenting the news from my day, what happened. So
okay.
every single evening, and I made the family members watch me. So I feel like she really wants to be seen and heard and honored all the years that she spent hiding, because she and also all the years when I struggled with eating disorder because of all the abuse that I've experienced. I am now I'm healing from that, and I just want to honor this process because it's extremely important for me, and I felt it was important for me. I shared it with the world. Maybe somebody will watch it and maybe it will help someone.
Oh, well, that's already happened because it did that for me today, and I know I can't be the only one. So you guys take a look at this. We're going to watch a little bit, like I said, and stop and comment on it.
I'm doing something for my inner child. Something to excuse me, something to honor my inner child, the little Agatka. Actually, what I'm doing today for that little Agatka inside is, I've always been ashamed, embarrassed, and afraid to eat in public. And I remember when I was in school, I never had breakfast in the morning before leaving for school. So by the time the first lesson was finishing, I was absolutely starving, and I was always petrified to eat in front of other peers because, excuse me, everyone was always laughing at me because of my weight, because of how I looked, because of the way I was behaving. And I never understood social cues or situations. I have autism, so now it's completely understandable for me not to understand something, and I am aware of this, but before I was not.
Right.
So I was always afraid of eating in public because I just didn't want to subject myself to the bullying, and there was no one else who could protect me. So I had to take actions in order to protect myself from a very young age.
Okay, let's talk about that. Let me see. There you are. Okay, I can hear you. I'll take her off the screen for a second. We'll bring her back. So you had to take steps, you said. So we hear a lot of times people refer to when they make the decision to make those steps, they were at a place that is commonly referred to, but it still doesn't do justice to the reality. But I'm speaking of rock bottom. Rock bottom, how, and I'm going to tell you something. I want to say this now to you, Agata. I don't know if anyone has ever told you this, but I know this to be true. Now that you have cracked the shell on this story, now that you have chosen to unstitch the lips of every younger version of you that created and manifested, it was she, the one who took all the bullying. She's the one who manifested this. That's why she liked to get in front of the camera and pretend she was preparing you, practicing with you for this very moment. And so I join with you because you said you read my story too, you heard my story, you saw it. And I want to tell you something about people, all of us. If you were a child, when you were a child, if you are currently a child, and trauma has found its way inside the vehicle known as your world, if it's riding somewhere in the vehicle with you, it may feel like the most horrible thing in the world, on the planet. But know this. What it really means is that you have just been marked for greatness. And I know this is true. So I just find it so exciting that I'm here with you and you're just getting started with this. And you're so great at the storytelling and the gentle, kind way. When you say you take people's hand and walk them through it, you really do. A lot of people say a lot of things. They promise a lot of things. Doesn't mean they have any clue on how to literally deliver. You have the things that people cannot be taught. It is called the anointing. So I'm just going to tell you that. So because it has to be told. And many of you have the anointing. But those steps, that courage, talk about that. What was it that made you say, okay, I'm going to flip this pancake over and live with the other side of it, the healing side, and not the hurtful side? Take it away.
The moment for me was when I realized that I'm actually continuing the path that my mother has walked on and my grandmother has walked on and my great grandmother has walked on, because I realized that I am living exactly the same life in the same way that they've done it. and which always resulted in a domestic violence situation.
Really?
Yes, but I am the first woman in my family who said enough, and I was the one who walked away and said, and put a stop to that. Every single woman before me in my family lineage did not have this in her to stop that karmic cycle that was being repeated in my, by the generations of my family. I was the first one to put a stop to this. Once I realized that I keep repeating the same cycle over and over again, I then asked myself this question, and it was in October, November of 2018. So it was 6 years ago almost. And I asked myself this question: would I like my life to continue this way? And would I want this, all of this that I went through, my mom went through, my grandma went through, and so on? Do I want this for my daughter? If I don't want this for my daughter, then I have to take the steps in order to free us from this situation. And that was the day when I decided no more abuse in our lineage. And I really want to, free us from that and give us a chance to live a happy life free of the abuse, and change a little bit of a history for the whole lineage of our family. Because if I put a stop to this and my daughter will not experience it anymore,
Right.
then her children will not experience that. And, and so on. It goes like this. So I made a decision, and it was not an easy decision. And the first step was not easy, but I had to do it because, when you put on a scale, what's more important? To continue the life the way, because it's comfortable, because that's what this is the scheme that you already know, and what's gonna happen, what you can expect. Or what's more important, do you want to live a happy life full of abundance and full of empowerment, and just do the work and take responsibility?
So your daughter, now this is a lot of people, this is thin ice. It's monster under the bedtime, because they don't want to talk about what the children have seen or not seen, or act like it isn't happening or whatever. But your daughter was, I'm certain, because she was active in the escape plan, right? She knew what was going on. I can see you sitting there and saying, it's you and me, and da 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 da, and here's why we have to do this now, and holding her hands. I can see it, holding her hands, and then her on your lap many times, and all the questions. What about my friends? What about this? What about that? And all along too, that's her dad. You see what I'm saying? And that what we see through, it's just so much. But here's the thing: you didn't say it was too much. That's how you made it out. Because when the minute we say something is too much, something in our world must disappear, because we're guaranteed that we won't be given more than we can handle. Now, you knew that it was so much, but you also knew that it wasn't too much. See? Right. The master of your own ship. You see? That's right. You started painting on your own tapestry. A lot of people call it rewriting the narrative, however you look at it. But see, you had to see a lot. You had to see it, so you would know exactly, and I can see it in you. That's how you see everything you're going to do now. Just as clear, right? So let's talk about that, your daughter. So now that you said she's watching, what was the conversation like? If say there's a woman that is watching this today or somewhere down the road in the future because of the replays, and she needs that push to do what you did, what could you say to a person like that so that they know how to break it to a child? So, because you're healing your inner child, you have your own real child, right? So do you remember that conversation when you explained to your daughter what was about to happen? How did you bring it in? And how would you help someone to bring it in? This is the work you do.
Yeah, I do remember now when you mentioned it. I remember, and because she was only 3 years old, I didn't, I couldn't give her many details because of her little brain then. I was just telling her that we are going to go somewhere else where we're gonna be safe, because we are not safe here where we are at the moment, and we just need to go somewhere where we're gonna save. And I kept promising her that I'm gonna make sure that she's always safe and she's always protected, and I'm gonna be with her every step of the way, because we just have to do it. And she didn't ask many questions because she was
How
only
does the
3.
conversation sound today? Like she's watching right now. So like when you guys talk about this afterwards, she sees mom sharing their story. She's inside of it. She's really watching you tell her story too. So,
Yeah.
so talk about that. What's the commitment? What's the responsibility like, Aga, for you as a mother to be writing this story in real time with your daughter? It's like you're singing a song together. You each have a you know what I'm saying? What's that
Yeah.
feel like? And why is it so important?
It's a massive responsibility, because you are there with your child and you are raw, you are, all your emotions come out. She sees you, she witnesses you, she witnesses the lows and the highs. And my life motto is, the lower you fall, the higher you fly, and that's from Fight Club. But she has witnessed me all along the way for the past 5 years, and I have dealt with many mental health issues along the way. I have CPTSD. I do have OCD around, safety and privacy of us, because when we were fleeing, I had to make sure that no one was tracking my device, nobody was there, and it gave me a massive OCD around that. I have all the rituals that I have to keep checking whether we are safe
Yeah,
and nobody
yeah,
is tracking us.
yeah,
So
yeah,
she has witnessed all of that. And the key it's just, through my experience, the key to going through it and actually being able to turn that pain into your greatest power is because you have to be honest. You have to be honest with yourself
yes,
and with the people you are responsible, in this case a child. You have to be honest, you have to explain to them in the way they understand you, because they deserve this. They deserve to know what's happening, and they deserve to know, because if you don't tell them, let me tell you something, if you don't tell your child, if you don't treat them with respect and with appropriate explanation to what's
yeah,
happening, they will feel your energy. They will sense that something is going on, and they will pick up on that, and it will present in them as even illnesses, many
of course.
many
You're absolutely
many
right. You're
yeah.
absolutely right. I've seen that. I know you guys have seen that thing, right? Where they make the parent not look at the child or do something, and the child can pick up on it. They know when they're in the high chair. They know. So let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go back to your inner child and you and the bullying and eating disorder. Could mean so many different things. We just watched here in this house, my husband and I, we watched the Karen Carpenter thing, right? And she had bulimia and and eating disorder. Now, yours was basically, or there's nothing basic about it, retraction, but yours was literally like you were a closet eater. It feels like a closet, and I know a closet eater. Well, okay.
Absolutely spot
Well,
on.
well, oh my God, I ain't gonna say who it is. Someone we all know. That it means, even sometimes when you can do things and someone else in your close proximity isn't, because they're trying to do something and you don't want to sabotage it, so you eat things privately, so not to be rude so let's talk about that. You felt, why was it such a big deal to kids? Because kids don't need a reason. But why do you think how do you think it turned into a disorder? You know what I mean? Because it began as bullying that turned into something that when the kids aren't there, you're still living it. That's the piece I'm talking about. Talk about that.
Yeah, and I understand the question. So to simply put it, it started in my own house. So because I was never made feel safe in my own house, I was everything, whatever I was eating, everything was always commented on firstly by my abusive father. Then he left when I was 6 years old. You know, my mom picked up on that because she went through so much abuse herself that she needed someone to just direct all this unresolved trauma and you know, not
Right. You
the
kick me,
anger
I'm
that
gonna
she
kick
couldn't
her.
release.
Right. Got
Yeah.
it.
So I was the scapegoat in my family, and everything was always blamed on me, put on me, and I was soaking it all up. And the eating disorder happened because, like you said, I was a closet eater. I had to eat in secret. I remember even between the wall and my bed, there was a little gap, and it was full of packages of chips and candy and, you know, all those stuff, the wrappers, and it was all just put in there. And once in a week or once in 2 weeks, I would empty it, and I would just see like there's so much of it. I would always eat in secret. I would always have to even open the pack with the chips. I would open it outside my flat so that my mom could not hear that I had another snack, because she would always comment on that. So that's how the disorder happened. I started soaking it all in and started building a shield, which is, you know, all around my stomach, all around my belly, because that's where my superpower is located, right? And I just started shielding myself up, building the shell, so I don't have to expose myself to the world. So even the greatest gift that I have, and the beautiful spiritual gift that I've got, it was all buried very deep inside me because of the abuse that I've experienced, and because of the programming that I was programmed with, that because I am bigger, I should be ashamed of eating, and I should not eat in public. And everything I put in my mouth was always commented on. So it imprinted in me, and it made me extremely anxious to eat in public, in case somebody will comment on that.
So here we go. We're going to pick back up now. This is a perfect setup. Take a look at how Aga is still pushing this thing. You know, like I see her, to me, it looks like when you see people practicing football here in the States, and they're pushing against those things with their shoulders to get it, move it down the field. That's what this piece that we're about to pick back up on feels like to me. Take a listen.
So I just simply was sneakily eating my sandwich at the end of the first lesson. So, and it was always the anxiety whether the teacher is gonna see me or not. And now probably, you know, they saw me, but they just haven't said anything. So I would just, you know, I would be tearing my bread roll apart and eating it piece by piece. And sometimes I would also sneak out during the lesson, and I would go to the little shop inside the school, and I would order something warm. It was like pastry with cabbage and mushrooms inside. It was absolutely delicious. So it was one of my favorite things, and because I was ashamed of eating it in public around my peers, I would just sneak out and buy it and eat it, and quickly come back for the rest of the lesson. So today, for the little me, I am going to eat my delicious breakfast, and I will tell you exactly what I've got and how it tastes and
Get
why.
ready, because if you ain't had breakfast, you
Why I
get,
like
get
it.
real hungry. Oh, that bread.
Every time. This is my current hyperfixation. So I've got sourdough, not just a regular sourdough. It's with sun-dried tomatoes and oregano. It is absolutely delicious.
I know what it is.
And I've got some avocado on it.
Love it.
And some homemade hummus.
Some homemade hummus.
Yeah, delicious. And some tomatoes, chili oil, crispy chili oil. Oh my gosh, it's a game changer. And pickled red onions, homemade as well. And some tomatoes. And this is delicious because with each bite you
Okay,
get.
wait. Let me just say something. I'm gonna just say something right here. This is how I got stuck. When the sandwich came in, I was glued to the seat. I'm gonna tell you why. Seriously, when I said you should go into television, I meant it. I am telling you, there was a cooking show that as a kid and as an adult, I have watched, and it was all because I saw her eat. I saw her eat. Lydia. Anybody familiar with Lydia's Kitchen? I loved it because Lydia she'd make stuff and she'd be eating it while she's making it, and just like you do at home. You know, it wasn't about, she had the stuff where it was chopped and already sitting there, and then something would go in the oven, then she'd turn and pull one out. Right. But she ate it all the way through. And when you just now, the appreciation, I'm telling you, it's not like you're just eating something. It's the level of gratitude and appreciation I get to experience as I watch you. It made me think I want to just stop, not pay attention to my device when I'm eating something, not even read. Well, I can, but you know what I mean? Almost like really pay attention to the beauty of the experience. So tell us what's going on in that head of yours that you sit there and you watch what you did. When was this? Just last week or so, right?
Yeah.
What's it like for you today to sit and watch? When you did that, you had no idea you were going to be watching it with me on the show, with everybody, with the world watching.
No.
But how does it make you feel that you're able to do that and you look like a TV show?
Yeah. If I had a tail, I would be wiggling that tail like a puppy, you know.
I know that's
I
right.
am so happy. I had no idea how much of an impact this will have for me, seeing myself, you know, so free, so like enjoying every bite of this delicious that I made. It's so freeing, you know.
It's so authentic and transparent, and it's celebratory. And I'm going to tell you, that's what made me just get stuck, riveted, because I realized you were showing me something I miss. You were showing me something that I didn't realize could provide so much joy. And the way the words and stuff, you know, it's organic or homemade and da-da-da-da. It's TLC. Like really just loving it. And I think if we can do that with the things we have to do every day, we have to eat every day. Well, you don't have to, but you know, you need to. You need to eat something every day. Let's just keep it real. You know, and when you do, the experience can be beautiful. Even when you've once eating was the shame of your life. I'm just amazed at how you've turned this thing around. So now let's go to what you do for other people. I get why you do it. See, I don't care how many jobs you've gotten where they paid you. That was a job. That's what you were paid to do. I'm telling you, young lady, what we're watching right here is what you were made to do. This is what you were made to do. I promise, I'm saying it here, and I can help you in any way that you want. But I don't think I'm going to be able to rest until we get you a television show where you prepare things and you do healing and you talk and you do all of this right there. Because you know what? Talk about turning around something that was not serving you and reminding it who's the boss here. You serve me. I'm the dominion heir. I am the one who is going to leave something for the world to find thousands of years from now. I'm telling you, it's really a beautiful thing to watch. So what do you think this is doing for your daughter? Did she see this? Did she watch you make it? Where was she when this was all going on? And what did she have to say about it?
She was in a different room, but I show her everything I do. I show her always. She's always the first person I come for advice as well, if this is good or not. And she's my biggest supporter as well. So she said, wow, mommy, I love it, because she sees that it's okay to have these moments, and it's okay to speak about these unpleasant experiences, because when you speak about it, it can, it can make you feel like you can move mountains, because it's such a freeing experience. And I'm gonna share something, very, very personal and very traumatic that happened to both of us. Both me and her, we were sexually abused by my ex-husband. So she, the day after I started speaking on my Instagram, it was a couple of years ago, the day after I shared my story, about the abuse and the abuse that I have experienced from my father as well, the following day we had, unfortunately, we had to have a police interview for her, that, she needed to disclose what happened to her in order for them to take action. And because in the morning I showed her and I said to her what I've done last night, that I shared on my Instagram the story, everything that happened to me, she was then empowered, and she went into that interview room and she smashed it. She came out and she said, I told them everything that happened to me, mommy. I was brave. And it is a completely different cycle, That's how you replace the old one that is absolutely unnecessary for you to carry on. That's how you replace it, because we are the women who spoke up about the abuse that happened to us. We are the women who reported it. We are the first women in this family who don't feel embarrassed, who don't feel ashamed about, calling the abuse by its name.
Yes.
And that's the power of ancestral healing, the work that I do. It empowers you to change the history of your family, so the future generations can live completely different life and do not have to experience all the traumas that you did.
You said it all. I'm going to tell you something else, too. That's beautiful. Wait. There we go. That had to be a bell ringer. Listen to me. And when I say that, I mean everybody. Seriously, lean in. I ring the bell. Lean in. Something I wrote down that I heard you say in that video. Matter of fact, I moved it ahead. Let's just listen to the rest.
To fill the stomach in case there's no food later, or in case there's the food that will be not sensory pleasing to me, or something that I wouldn't like.
The crunch.
I'm giving her big tight hug. She's hurt. She's there. She's still alive. She'll always be alive. And working with your inner child is a massive part of my whole program. Working with that little person, little soul inside you, who needs to be heard, needs to be seen, who needs to be honored. All that she experienced, and all that she went through, it has to be honored. So my program, Rediscovered, 12 weeks, 8 very powerful steps, and I'm with you right there, holding your hand every step of the way. If you'd like to find out more and how to sign up, hit me up.
I know that's right.
Send me a message. I love you, and I see you.
So, girl, let me tell you something. You're the real deal. You're the real deal. There's so few. I'm serious. It seems like it's a crowded field, but not really. At the end of the day, there are so few. And I am so, so grateful to just sit across and share this space with you. I want to say something, because it's not just space, it's sacred space. And I know you know what that means, because inside, I wrote it down. When you referred to it at the end, near the end, we missed that part, but it's in there. I highly encourage all of you to get over and watch that entire 8-minute piece. You referred to the food you were eating as divine food. And I said, oh boy, listen to that. She gets it. Because, you know, I used to just sit in a spot and I'd occupy space. But today, wherever I find myself, I'm occupying sacred space, because I name it so. You know, I don't collect just good friends anymore. I collect blessed friends. And I'm not trying to create fond memories. I demand divine memories. And so when you move those words next to the things that mean the most to you, and to those that you love and they mean the most to you. Put a word between it. Don't just say, oh, isn't it crazy how now when people think you need to be committed, it's because you helped groom it. No, crazy wonderful. It sure is strange. No, it's strangely magical. You see, it's weird. Yes, it's weirdly magnificent. See what I'm saying? It changes everything.
Yes.
And when I said at the beginning of the hour, you guys at the top, and we're out of time, man, got to get you back. I said that some things you just can't teach people. They just have to have it. You are an example of that for real. You got it, girl, for real. I'm so honored to know you, and I see big things for you. So thank you so much. We need you back because there's so much more. You guys, there's the Instagram scrolling along the bottom of your screen, and we'll do you one more solid at the end here in just a moment. I'll make sure I drop that link inside your comment section for easy access at the conclusion of today's show. And so I just want to thank all of you. I could thank you so much. Say hello to your lovely daughter and thank her for her bravery. We thank you. And what was her name again?
Kaya.
Kaya, thank you so much. We got to get you both of you back. That's what we'll do. Let's get both of you back. See if she's interested, okay? And listen.
Definitely is.
Perfect. Let's get you both back. You guys, I'll let you know when that's coming up soon, like in the next couple of weeks. Let's do it. Tomorrow, Shanae Haler is here. We'll tell you more about that. It'll be in your thread any minute now. Listen, get out of here and find a little piece of your highest self now, won't you? And make this day worth it. Take it from great to greater, bright to brighter, bold to bolder. You just need one E and one R, and you will be glad you found it at the end of your journey. Trust me. Listen, I will meet you, God willing, over there tomorrow morning on the front porch for another illuminated conversation. And as always, I tell you, don't let my screen door slam on the way out. And remember, I love you, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. So there you go. Have a great day. Great job. I will talk to you. Hang out backstage for a minute. You guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How explicit do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Boy, I'm standing right here holding up a sign.